I am back. Just when you thought I was out, they pull me back in. Today is March 24th, 2026, and Whistleblower Awareness Day. And one of our whistleblowers is changing a tire right now, and his hands are very greasy. But I appreciate the whistleblowers. This show started on that premise of revealing the truth and finding the truth and assuring you that I don't represent the truth. I represent someone looking for the truth. And if it wasn't for the whistleblowers, we would have never seen what kind of situation we're in as a country. But I'm seeing it, worldwide, everywhere, every country, especially the Commonwealth under the usurped crown of King George. But we couldn't do it without the whistleblowers because then our creative minds amongst us, men generally love to solve problems. They like to resolve situations, put the air conditioner in to, resolve the heat wave. We like to find solutions. We like to end the hunger. We like to comfort and have a safe home for our families. That's all natural. It's not unnatural at all. What we're seeing is very unnatural. A very dark social engineering program where people are jumping and still wearing masks in their cars. That's not who we are. Fear campaigns like this are not only a demonstration of power and tyranny, but also a demonstration of betrayal for who we're really intended to be. What mankind is capable of is those old cathedrals, those beautiful buildings that were made. That's who we are. That's the real mankind. And it's taken a long time for them to come to this point. But they are slinging days at us. 2030, you own nothing and be happy. But that really isn't the case, is it? Mark Carney is doing very well with Brookfield. His company is in New York City, and his family lives in the United States. I mean, you can't get more like, I don't give a shit about you than that. I mean, he doesn't work for you. He doesn't work for me. And he's not a little guy. He's a big guy. He bailed out Jared Kushner, 66666 Fifth Avenue, down the street from Trump Tower. So they're all connected, aren't they? Hopefully, we will rise above all of it in a very unified form and see each other as not so far apart as we think we are. We're like all the parts of one cell, not knowing that we are united, we are that one cell together. And all these wars between us were manufactured and unnatural. And some of us have lost everything for the truth. And my guest is one of those people. Sue, welcome to the Truth Table once again. You have just received 2 more extra frequent flyer Truth Table points.
I'm so proud. I'm collecting them now.
You are. You're moving up. Hello, Cleo and Robbie. Thanks for joining us. You went up against the roughest, toughest Canadian union, the most powerful, and they basically robbed you. They took your money. your
Yep.
savings, your pension here. And
They robbed my pension because I refused to sign a non-disclosure agreement. They push on victims,
yeah,
unionize victims of Air Canada for Air Canada, and in their non-disclosure, they have the audacity to add paragraphs that state that we're releasing from all responsibility the union and the company, and we're actually extremely satisfied with the conditions of our settlement.
mm,
That's how evil they are. And because I refused those 3 years' salary and to sign that piece of paper, I was told by Benoit Lapointe, Leslie Diaz, that's Jerry Diaz, mafia boss wife of Unifor, and the union lawyer, Louis Gottheil, that they could steal my pension. And I said, you can't steal somebody's pension. It's my money. They said, Air Canada can pretty much do whatever they want. I said, then why are we paying for union dues? And that's what happened to me. All that just because I did my job as the health and safety union rep in the Montreal Air Canada call center. And it's been going on since 2012. And to this day, Air Canada is still abusing employees in complete indifference. I'm in contact with many. I'm helping out many. I'm signing statements of witness for many. I go to their court hearings. And the only reason Air Canada and Unifor hate me is because I didn't play their game. Not because
yeah,
I was a bad employee, not because I was a bad union rep, not because I had a bad record, not because I committed fraud or did anything wrong. The only thing I'm guilty of is being trustworthy and being gullible to all the BS they fed me for over 10 years.
yeah. You have an impeccable employee record, except you do have 2 tardy points at Truth Table.
I wish I could redeem them for millions.
Yeah, but you have to be a guest another 3 times, and then you'll be right at where you were. But you're one of the people that open people's eyes, and that's what all my whistleblower guests have done, is shined light on things that were going on that shouldn't be going on. And then it was trying to figure out, well, how do we fix this? Unifor is massive, so it's like a monster that's almost impossible, because all the bad guys are protecting the other bad guys. And same with the police department, they're giving addresses to car thieves, letting them know where to shop, where to steal. 7 of them were arrested, 1 retired. So that's criminal activity in our police. It's like, who do we have left?
I don't know.
We have each other, I guess. But, we don't want a violent civil war. It's not what we're about. Our faith can find a way. I can't give that up, because my faith, the Creator is way more powerful than they are.
I believe the truth is going to set us free, and it's going to be soon. And
Yeah.
I'm really hoping it's going to be soon, because now there's too many.
Yeah. Well, I heard a prediction April 5th. Some king star is going to shine on this object and activate it, and mankind will, the veil will be, smashed into a million pieces, and everyone will see. And it sounds like a biblical prediction, but that's like April 5th. My last show on Facebook is the New Year's Eve, the real New Year's Eve, March 31st. And it'll be a full moon. And all these stars are lining up. So it's just the first big, March was a big pivotal moment for mankind, where Jeffrey Epstein, Iran, Iraq, biblical implications, everything is like, the Bible's like flying out of the book. The pages are just flying out of the book for me. Because, I read the book and it's like, holy moly, we're there. And the good news is we win. And it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait because all these beautiful people we met are going to be there. You know, that's
I hope
how
it's soon because it makes no more sense what's happening in our country.
yeah.
By the way, Paul, just as a reminder, I don't know if you hear a lot of the music in the background, but it's pretty loud on the
Is it?
side of the. Yeah, it is. Just to let you know.
Holy smokes.
Well, yeah.
There we go.
Now
I'll
it's
just turn it off. We don't
in.
need music.
I don't mind the music. I like music, but sometimes when it's a little bit too loud, sometimes when
Yeah,
people listen
yeah,
to our podcast or
I
whatever,
can't
they
tell.
find the music in the background is a little bit too much.
I can't tell.
Oh, you couldn't tell, so thank God I
Nope.
mentioned it. Okay,
Gotta
that's
do,
a good
yeah,
thing.
you have to tell me because even tell me if I'm too loud because I don't
No, all that is good. You don't have to worry. It was just the music. It was kind of because you have a nice, soft voice, and the music didn't match your tone of voice, you know?
well, I when I make reels, I add music because it's only a minute and it adds dynamics to it. I used to play my song, but it's kind of a sad song. So I don't play it as much except for the intros. But it's in 432 hertz or meta. I'm gonna be leaving you because I don't trust you. And Facebook, I'm sorry, but our relationship has to end. You're cheating on me. You're giving my data to other people without my consent. So yeah, that's it. It's going to be fine. We're in a hard spot right now. March is a hard been a hard month for everybody, and the rising costs is really hurting people and scaring people.
How
In
much is the gas in your area, Paul? Just like out of curiosity.
175.
Do you know that I went and gave a ride to somebody today that needed to go up north, like about 45 minutes from Montreal here? And the Uber ride was almost $100. So I took them and I saw we gassed and I saw at 192 here in Montreal. And even in the suburbs, it's super expensive because the province of Quebec still has that stupid carbon tax. As soon as our politicians have given themselves the right to give us an extra tax, for them, it's extra cash for them to money launder. They're not going to give up on it.
Hmm.
And on the 1st of April, they're bringing the carbon tax up again. So the Ponzi scam money laundering is going up. And our 338, I heard they're 343 now, useless leeches in our House of Commons full of criminals and traitors, getting another pay raise.
Yeah,
My
that's a
apologies.
good description. They
Yeah,
are the bugs they want us to eat.
look,
They're like the
I
crickets.
I never thought I'd talk this way about our
I know,
institutions,
eh?
to be honest. I never thought I'd be talking about politicians in the same sentence as the word criminal and evil, and it's the only words I can use to actually describe what we have in our House of Commons. There's no other explanation.
Yeah, yep. I don't know if you know White Wolf. He's been on my guest since the beginning too. He's got like frequent flyer miles too. Just like not as many as Kirk though. Kirk has got like the most frequent flyer truth table points. Like he could never lose really. But any of you want to join us, the stream link is there. Please feel free to join us. We're celebrating the Whistleblowers Awareness Day on every year, March 24th. And so this is a double feature day, two shows. Um, I met the most amazing people, honestly, the last 2 years. And White Wolf, he's like, as you can probably see, I've been letting my beard grow out. Can you tell?
I have to be honest, unless I put on my glasses, I don't see much.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Anytime now, 2050 for sure. But White Wolf is the opposite. He's like very hairy. He's like werewolf, part werewolf, and his favorite band, of course, is Howlin' Oates. They're a great band. I love their music. Robbie's here with us, and yeah, the link is there. Cleo, when do you come and join us just for fun? She's been here since the beginning. I just love these people. I've never even met Cleo, but she's been, with me since the beginning. Guess who's here?
Kirk showed up to the
Ah,
table.
good guess. He got all
Hi,
the
Kirk.
he got all the grease off his fingers. Way
Just
to
walked
go,
in the
brother.
door. Sorry.
That's
That's
what
all
we're
right.
saying.
Steve.
You know what? How Paul described? He says he's changing some tires. He's probably full of grease, and
Yep.
he's going to show up. But you know what? He did say that he had an amount of brownie points for showing up to
Oh,
at the truth table, so that you didn't have to worry. You're off the hook.
oh
Oh
yeah,
my
he's got
goodness. I was
frequent
worried.
flyers.
I don't think Paul will block me right away. Just kidding. Happy happy whistleblower appreciation day. I didn't even know about
Whistleblower.
it this morning.
I didn't know that either. I had no idea. Look, every time they come up with a new campaign, like last week, there was the French Canadian Day. And you know what I wrote to all of the politicians that saying that, appreciation of the French language in Canada, blah, blah, blah. I said, it's just another pretend you care day. And I wrote in French, Vive la corruption, mange la merde, vive la corruption en français. Basically, it's like eat shit and
Oh,
long
hey.
live corruption in French. So sorry for the language, but that's what I wrote on many of them.
I'm trying to wind the language down and you're picking up where I left
No, no,
off.
no, no. I was just translating,
Oh,
translating.
lost in translation. You can use that one a few times.
And you weren't there, but when I came on to Paul's last truth table, we were talking about seal because in French, when you use the word fuck, PHOQUE, PHOQUE,
It's French
fuck,
for
is a
sea lion.
seal. It's
Yeah.
seal in French.
So apparently I know one word in French.
You know
Watch
the
out,
right word.
Marin will sick someone on us. How
It's
you guys
also
doing?
good. It's
Robbie, I see
also
Robbie's in here and
yeah.
Marianne.
White Wolf, Robbie, Marianne. The link is there. It's a free for all. All you whistleblowers out there. I can't even whistle because I don't have the right embouchure, eh?
I can, but I have like a cracked lip and I don't want it to start,
You do it?
bleeding again. So
Do
I
that
won't.
kind of whistle?
Yeah, yeah, I can do it like with two
Yeah,
and
don't
like
do that.
really loud there. I learned how to do it and playing basketball.
Yeah, don't do that, please.
No, 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 no.
My sister does that one too, and
It's
it's
not very
loud.
elegant. Just put it that way. It's not
Yeah,
an
yeah.
elegant one.
So
I
the
can
F
do
word
the thing
is
with
not a
the
swear word.
fist in the armpit.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding.
Yep, 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 yep.
Oh, Amber's trying to
So
whistle behind me.
I invited Sal Gouvet.
How's he
I,
doing?
I haven't got a response from him. Hey, where's your truth table shirt?
Oh,
But I'll have to get
they're
her
white,
one too.
Paul. Get black two table
Yeah,
shirts and I can wear
yeah,
them.
I hear you. I hear you. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're always right. Damn whistleblowers are always right.
Well,
Kirk,
we'd
you know
love
what
to
I
be
told
proven
to
wrong.
do you know what I told to Paul before you came on? Hi, Amber. I see you in the back. Hi, lovely. I told
Basketball.
Paul that I thought that last week you had pulled a fast one on me to try to test if I could do the hosting for a whole week until I found out you really were accompanying your daughter as the driver for basket tournament. But I had like a little doubt.
Oh.
You have to have faith.
But
With
I know Kirk wouldn't do that. He would
no,
never do that.
Well,
nope, nope, he wouldn't.
I'm gonna do it again next week too.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
That's great. I'm glad to see the kids are doing some activities and exercise, and that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's
The,
raining as usual here, but
the children need their fathers. They really need their fathers. They are such an inspiration to them, and so it's
that's what I was.
also whistleblowers and fathers out there. You all matter so much.
That's what I was talking about. Michael Jackson today there in our space. He's got an appeal coming up on the 6th, so he hasn't heard or seen from his daughter for 4 years now. You know, I know it was harder for me for like the first 3 years were unbearable, but You know, it just women are the same way, men are the same way.
Yep.
The
Yep.
kids are used as weapons nowadays. You know, and
Yep.
it bothers me that the government thinks they can change their sexuality or whatever, and the parents can't do anything about it. It just blows my mind, you know. And that's, you know, a lot of whistleblowers are coming out about the vaccine, of course, and about all of these things that happen after the transitioning and stuff. Like the what was that place called in BC here?
Tavistock?
Nope. Shoot. Well, maybe it was in BC here where that person shot all those kids recently.
Oh, the
Uh,
father there that thinks he's a woman and he
no,
stabbed
no,
his
it was
two kids.
a teenager that transitioned. Tumble Ridge shot 9 kids
Oh,
or something.
yes, yes, yes. Tumble Ridge, yes. And all the kids and that young girl that was brave enough to try to shield and lock the door, and she saved a lot of her school's, friends and everything. And she's
Yeah, but
actually now out of the out of the woods, not really, but I mean, still alive. It's a miracle on its own that young lady's still alive.
you know, but it's happening. It happened in La Loche years ago, and my friend, were actually stayed with. Anyways, long story, but her husband is my son's mother's uncle. But you know, it happened in La Loche. A bunch of kids got shot too, and you know, it's weird that it's happening more and more. It seems, and it's you know, I always say like people seem to be getting crazier and crazier. You know, and I hate to say that because I've been accused of being crazy a lot myself. But you know, I don't think any of us are. We're just we can see what's going on, and that bothers a lot of people.
Sure.
Which you know,
Normal. Yeah.
it would have been way easier for all of us just to probably turn a blind eye to what we saw. But I don't, you know, what would happen after that? You know, it just gets worse and worse, and that's the thing with whistleblowers. If you don't try to share the truth, it's just going to keep getting worse. It's and it 6 years, 7 years later, here it is. Here we are in society where all this stuff is happening. And, you know, who would have thought that living in exile would have been a great choice? So,
Yep.
you know, I know you'll both eventually end up here. Just
Oh
not for a
yeah.
visit forever.
Yep.
I don't think Paula will ever leave for sure.
I don't think I'll leave, but you know what? With the truth table points you've accumulated over 2 seasons, you might be able to even buy a boat.
Well, that's the thing, you know, and it was good that you know we keep trying to get people to come back on our spaces, you know, and you've had us on several times and other people as well. You can't just say it and expect resolution. You have to keep going, and just like that one that fraudulent politician, you have to say it over and over and louder, and then they'll believe you. You know,
Yep.
we've been screaming for years, and people are slowly warming up to us. You know, it's just it's very weird. I hope if a child ever sees, you know, comes up and says they need help, I hope people will believe him or her, you know, because and help them. And that's the problem is like people don't want to get involved. And
Yeah.
you know, if we saw somebody that needed help, I'm sure we would, you know, and
Oh yeah.
you know, it just I always thought it was everyone was like like us or the whistleblowers and the truth tellers, you know. And then I just why aren't they? Like it's way easier to be nice to people than it is to be mean. I guess it's not as financially you know, the incentives aren't there as much,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
and,
The incentive is not there at all. But there it is, whistleblower. You can't really see it, I guess, but
hey
there it is.
Sue, do you have your little song available to play?
Oh, it
Yeah.
it's on my Facebook, but I
Oh,
don't know how to go on
I
there
shall.
while we're on the live at
Oh,
the
I
same
can do it.
time.
I can do it.
Robbie. Yeah.
Just keep
It's
going.
cute on top of it. The first time I heard it, I couldn't believe it.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
that's the thing is like I heard when my wife heard from the Bread Radio, they made one for me,
Yep.
and she started crying because she was so
Aw.
upset or not upset. Well, you know, happy that someone actually did something like that for us, and you know, I know you had the same
Yeah.
thing, and
I
Marianne as
know I
well.
cried and I still
Yeah.
listen to it every other day because I can't believe that somebody took the time to do that to, Like,
Yeah.
we never expected to be where we are now. We never
No.
expected to
Yeah.
be doing podcasts and helping other whistleblowers. We wanted help for ourselves. We wanted our own cases being resolved. And now
Yeah.
not only our cases are not resolved, we're now like part of a leading group of people that are trying to help others get also their stories out there.
Well, that's
And
that's what they say. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, thinking it's going to change, well, yeah, I did the same thing over and over for years, and then I was like, it's not working, so I'm going to try help other people, and it's working. It's just slow, but
very soon, yeah.
yeah, and that's But I think I honestly think things are changing. Like um, uh, shoot. Michael Adamson, he says, do you see the things are changing? Well, yeah, more police are getting charged, more politicians are being questioned, more mainstream media is being questioned, but still no arrests, no trials. I would love to testify, and I'm sure you would, like even in a tribunal or something, just to try to say, okay, let's have a tribunal to make this not happen again. That's what we would like, and that's what we thought we would get years ago. They would say, okay, well, what was the problem? Let's fix it now. I'm sure the problem that you had still isn't fixed. Mine certainly is not. I know there's elections coming up, and I just got more information today from the corrupt, like about the corrupt chief, my son's godmother. But I like them. Like, she was my son's godmother. I asked them to be because they were good people at one time, and then they just every time they would go to Vancouver and come back, they came back as different people. It's just like there was some programming going on or something, and so much that I couldn't even recognize who they were. It was all about the money, and yes, money would be nice, but it's not the I'm blessed because, like I always say, lots of food and water here, and I can survive easily, but downtown Vancouver, I would be a homeless person. My son would be gone, my daughter would be gone. I would have none of this. If I didn't come here, that's where I would probably have been. And that's scary stuff because not a lot of people have the opportunity to come here or anywhere else. Like, it's just so weird that I posted Michael's today about the FSIN, and they owe $28 million back. Well, I know a lot of people that work there. A lot of them were my ex friends. A lot of them was like, I know lawyers from there when I was going through custody and stuff. And it's just weird that my friends are now involved with that. It's upsetting. But you know, what got me to that topic was, a lot of people don't want to expose their friends. First you say, hey, you're doing something wrong. Stop it. Easy, done. Carry
Yeah.
on. And instead, most double down, and then they start blocking us and saying we're crazy, we're lunatics, we're grifters, all this stuff. That's fine. They can say whatever they want, but they can't prove anything, where we can prove everything. And here we are. I get on average of 2 shares a post. It's probably you guys, but it's so weird that good is evil and evil is good now. It just
Yep.
that's what it seems. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And they're not
It's,
even hiding it anymore. That's what
yeah,
I find the more disturbing is they
Oh
just
yeah.
go on TV and bluntly lie to us and they don't even care. You can see it in their eyes and the way they talk, the
yep.
words, their body language. They don't even care.
Uh, when Jesse Howe was in the ship, they call it the fluoride stare. I can tell somebody and look them right in the eye, and then they'll say, "But you'll still fix my toilet, right?" I'm like, "Absolutely." It's just they're not. It's just like, man, I'm trying to save your life here, but and of course, if you go out and start yelling that, you get arrested and sent to a mental hospital. And a lot of people said, "Get off of X." Like somebody actually you interviewed, Paul, said, take all your stuff off of Facebook, send me all of your documentation. And I'm like, why? The only reason I'm still alive is because I went public, I guess. Like, this is as public as we can get. And I'm glad I did. And I think because we stood up, I have the life I do. I'm still married. My kids are healthy, and doing my daughter's knitting right now. So it's just people got to be responsible for their choices. And whistleblowers, we don't want to be here. Like, not one of us. None of us wanted any of this stuff. I never thought I would be get rewarded or anything. I just thought it would stop, and it would be a democracy again. Like, and that's what bothers me the most is like people don't even have a clue that the elections are frauds. They're
Yeah.
remanded. He's another whistleblower, so to speak. He questioned the election if they're accurate or not. And he gets hardly any people following him. He's tried GoFundMe, and they don't really work that well. It's just the people that have the most important stories seem to have the least reach. So
We are severely restricted. We are severely shadow banned. I don't understand the whole terminology and how they can do it, but these programs that are kind of embedded in the social media accounts, they can get us a lot of people seeing our stuff, and they can also hide us. And the
yeah,
only reason they're hiding us is because we're exposing too much truth. If we were like talking about anything else that wasn't connected to corruption, high ups in government, we wouldn't have these issues. I had no clue I was going to end up in the situation I was, because I didn't even realize that it connected to politics. To me, it was a few bad apples in my workplace. And I thought that when the higher ups, like you, Kirk, when you were going to bring it to your higher superiors in the proper channel, that somebody that gets paid higher above our pay grade would handle it and do the right thing. Instead, they did what they did. And
Yep.
because at the time I couldn't understand and comprehend why they were doing this, that's what kind of got me sick and got me really severely depressed and burned out and everything, until 2020 came. And then all the same gas, because I didn't know what gaslighting was. Now I know
yeah,
what it is. I didn't know what was, there's another one,
lateral violence.
projecting. Yeah, projecting. That's another
Yeah,
one.
Yep.
They'll accuse you of what they've done, and these are all terminologies. I had no clue what they meant, because for me, it was not a game. It was just real life. You tell the truth, you do things correctly, and that's it. You move on and you continue on. I
so
had
what do
no
you
idea.
so you're the superiors, they get paid more money. I always thought they
Mhm.
got paid more money because they were smarter or because they did a job better. No, it's because they listen better. If they see something wrong, they won't say a damn word because they want to get more money. And
Yep.
it's always struck me the root of all evil is money or something like that. And I believe it. Like it just seems like people that worship money more than helping somebody, and that's very problematic for us. And when I say us, I know it's all of us. Like, yes, we. What would all these people do with all of these millions of dollars?
How much
Like,
do you need? That my
yeah,
question is how much do
yeah.
you need?
You know what? I didn't tell anybody this, but I was given uh, when I was given an option, they said, okay, yes, we admit the military messed you up and caused you harm. So you can get, it's called a lump sum payment from the military. And of course, I wanted lump sum because I know they seized everything I've ever gotten, right? So they sent me this lump sum, and I paid, um, uh, I gave a lot of people money. It was right during COVID. Like, people I didn't know, I was like, what's going on? And I'm losing my business. So, well, would a couple $1,000 help you? So I sent a lot of money out to people I've never met, and some people I have met. Some people I expected them to pay me back, like the men and stuff, and they did, like most of them. But some of them didn't. They blocked me, and I helped them when they were at their worst because I thought the money I got was like blood money, right? It was Veterans Affairs. They sent me this $110,000 or whatever. I gave away a lot of that. I bought my ex a car. The intention was she would come and visit us twice a year. It never happened. Long story. But random people, yeah, I can't pay rent. Things were tough during COVID, and yeah, I'm like, sure, don't worry about it. Here you go, because I didn't want it. And then that's what the military ombudsman said. Like, I sent him some of these people thank me, in emails and stuff. And he says, you're very unique. I'm like, whoop-de-doo. It's like, it's blood money. I don't deserve this money. I should be working. I should be living at home in L'Orange or wherever, working, paying taxes, being good to people. But here I am in the middle of nowhere. This is, I was working for food then. And what they did was it was a lump sum for disalignment. And then they said, okay, we're going to give you $1,000 a month for pain and suffering. Well, I already got that. That was the lump sum payment, I thought. But anyways, someone there is helping me in Veterans Affairs, because I don't think I don't want any of this. I don't deserve it, of course. But of course I need it now. I would rather have my life back, where I was making a lot of money. Like, I had big contracts, like we're the biggest companies in the world, Schlumberger, Gold Corp, Cameco, Weyerhaeuser. Yeah, go ahead.
But were you making enough money to support a starving piano player?
At that time, I was. But
Hey,
and that's
every
the thing.
boat needs a piano player.
Well, I won't tell you about my joke about the piano player, but yeah, that's the thing is, when it's too much, too much is too much. It's nice to be able to help your friends out if they need money, and sure, it is nice to have nice things. But
hey, it's because of you. Season 2 happened. You bought enough shirts to give me enough to pay for it. So I mean, we all do something for each other. I think we all have our part to play in this. And if you guys want to give me 2 minutes, we can listen to this beautiful song.
Go for
it. For Sue. Let's see here if I can't make this bigger. I guess you don't have to have it big. In here. There we go.
under Canadian skies. Standing tall, fight the fight, 7 strong, you and I, it is. Put your song fire, uniform crew, taking it higher. Taking it
Oh, it's messing up on me here.
I know.
I don't know what to do here. Can't do anything now. They've hijacked my stream. So
You
I don't know.
can't do anything anymore?
My stream was hijacked there. I couldn't do anything. But yeah, isn't that
Wow.
something? Yeah, and your sound is crazy, and I can't do anything. Can you guys still hear me out there?
Yes.
Francine is
Can you
the
hear me?
trans.
Can you hear us?
I
Okay, you just went out. I don't know if you're still there. Hello, hello, Paul. Are you still there? Kirk? That's bizarre. I'm not even sure if you hear me either. Oh, are you back? You here? I can't hear you. No sound. There's no sound.
okay.
Oh, oh, okay. You're
So if
rubber
you have no
banding. Are you bad?
sound,
Go ahead.
oh man, they did
Oh, but
not like that.
I can hear you now.
I was, yeah. Oh boys, that
Wow.
was big. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I couldn't change anything. I couldn't stop. I couldn't quit. I was completely hijacked for that song. And everyone said that the music was chopping in and out.
Yeah. I saw Francine up there. I don't know how to comment on here, so I can only talk
Yeah.
about it. But hi Francine. Hi Dawood.
Oh, you can't comment on chat?
I don't even know how to. Yeah.
You just click
Neither
on
can
the
I.
chat
Don't
and
know
you
how to do
can
it either. So
yeah, you just click on the chat. Oh, wait a minute. If it's open, then you should already see it. You can see the F, so they're on Facebook. And Francine, of course, is a trans agitator in Ottawa.
That's yeah, I guess I'm a political agitator.
Yeah, and she's a
Actually, I'm
unifor.
pretty sure I agitate everyone.
She's a unifor agitator.
yeah, Unifor really dislikes me. That's
Yeah.
there's all the unions, like there's almost every single union in Canada has blocked me. Even unions I've never interacted with their pages, like if Unifor must have sent out the message because they have blocked me almost every single union in Canada.
Well, there's over 5,000 Rangers and no one talks to me. So um, I just yeah, no, I just it's weird. I can't yeah.
Well,
Either way.
I'm gonna paste that song in the comments. So if anybody wants to hear it, it's really quite amazing.
Oh, there you go.
And
Yeah.
and you can hear it. But Facebook did, or Meta, the Meta gods did not want me to play that song. I was punished. Punitive damages.
Well, our friend Robbie says I'm just an asshole. I was like, well, that's why we like you. Apparently, we all are to somebody, and that's the thing. Is like I don't know
Yeah,
why anyone would think we are, because we're super nice people. We have no ill
it's
intent.
because I'm wearing a tie, and all the bad guys wear the suit and ties.
Well,
So
maybe 50
I'm,
years ago, I would have called you a nerd and stuff, but
but Pierre Poilievre went on Joe Rogan like looking like this. So I'm looking at him and going, shit. I need something new. I don't want to look like him.
I
But
don't
you
know.
know
Do you
You
what?
guys?
You
know.
look very nice in a suit and tie. I'm looking forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
Kirk in a
I got.
suit and tie.
I gotta ask you:
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
respect people in suits and ties, or in
yeah.
uniforms,
Or
or
or rags.
you know? I
The
I tend
content
to
of the
go
character,
towards
right?
the regs because I know they're working for their money. you know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's about the content of the character. I don't care if you're Jewish, Muslim, Christian, it doesn't matter. The content of your character is what matters. And
Yeah.
if you have good character, we can get along. There's no war between
Okay.
us.
Well, there you go. That's why people don't like us because we have good character. I was gonna have a space on who blocks the whistleblowers. And there's a lot of people, and I wish they would tell us why instead. Because if they told me why, I would say, "Oh, I'll fix whatever I'm doing." I'm sorry if I'm too abrasive or whatever, but maybe it's not me. Sorry, I got a bad
It's the
cough.
stories that we're carrying that are bothering. I thought so too. I had done something wrong, Kirk. I thought I was guilty of something to deserve all this
Oh,
pain
definitely guilty
and
of something.
retaliation, to realize that it was nothing to do with me. It's because I did not play their game and I did not
Yeah.
want to be silenced. That's the only thing why they went so harshly on me.
Well,
And you too.
I think it's good versus evil. Like, there's a reason five or whatever 6,000 Rangers aren't contacting me. Like, several did initially, and then all of a sudden gone. Same with you. You'd think the Air Canada. Well, luckily, Payman, whoever that guy was, I can't remember his name, but he saw you somewhere, and he says, "Hey, that's part of my story too." And somebody else today was talking about uniform, and I was like, "Can you please add Sue Sproule?" And yes, I will. Thank you. It's just connecting the dots. It's working. You know, I appreciate you, whistleblowers, but
Yes. You remind me of an undertaker.
what does that mean?
Maybe I'm missing my calling. Thank you, Robbie. And I'm from New Brunswick.
No,
I was born in New Brunswick, so we're like
Oh.
we're like brothers. We could be related because a lot of the cousins get drunk together, and we could be related. Trust me.
there was a doctor I talked to today, and it reminded me of Sue's story where she quit taking her meds, and his thing is you got to weed yourself off, and there's actually graphs and stuff to help you, and he's trying to get people to off of their antidepressants and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I'm not a doctor, and if you're really messed up and depressed, yeah, please follow your doctor. But maybe it's something else that's getting you depressed. The world, maybe the news,
Government
Yeah.
corruption,
government,
not having enough money
Yeah.
to pay your rent, your
the price
food,
of
your
fuel. Like the price of food. Like, people are worried they can't feed their families. It's never been that like that in the history of mankind. Like,
Hmm.
we historically, I think we would have kids if we knew we could afford them to feed them. And
Yeah.
that's why a long
Mm.
time ago there was bigger families because they all helped out on the farms or whatever. And nowadays it's reversed. They can't afford to feed themselves, so they don't want to have more children. So they bring in other
Mm.
people that can afford to have a lot more children here,
And
which is
give them $8,000 a month,
yeah.
and then extra for
It,
each kid.
I get
So they're being promoted to procreate.
yeah, yeah, and you know, there's one time someone told me that certain people were told just keep having kids and eventually you'll be able to outvote them. Wow, that's pretty bad. And I hope
Replacement migration.
Yeah. Well, there's
Yeah, replace it by
everyone's
greater.
blaming that, but it's not that. It's the corruption in politics and every other authority. You know, it's just some people deserve asylum. You know, whistleblowers, for example. You know, that stand up. I tried to get asylum in the States and I couldn't get it. You know,
Robbie,
very
you're
weird.
killing me tonight. Oh my
I wish
God,
I could read that small.
you're making me hilarious. I'm originally from Ottawa.
Oh,
We are
okay.
definitely not related. Oh, Robbie, so glad you made it out tonight. That's awesome. We could
I
still be
like
related.
Robbie. He's such a
Oh my
nice
God.
person on top of it.
Oh my God. He should be. Click. Hey, White Wolf, click the link. You can join.
Yeah, like I met him. I actually went to see him at his house in on that island there. You know, one of the few people I've met. You know, I actually met Dawood there. Nice guy. You know,
Yep. Yep.
but you know, and
When
everyone's
when
got
he
their
lets you
stories.
talk. When he lets you talk and he doesn't interrupt you.
We all have our things, right?
Yeah,
And
I love you guys.
but the thing is, he's a nice guy just trying to help people. End of story. You know, if things were good, we none of us would have to do this. We could all
Yeah,
go and fishing, for example.
100%, brother.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. No doubt. You
I want
wouldn't
to
have
go
to do this.
kayaking. I love kayaking
Oh
on
yeah.
our rivers, and
Yeah.
that's what I miss.
Yeah.
Anyways, I
I'd be in
miss a lot of
heaven.
things.
I'd be
I
in
miss
heaven like with
snowmobiling.
a bunker right by the river, close to Kirk's boat, like a underground like bunker, just in case.
You know, I was scrolling through Facebook or something. Uh, Amazon or something. They're selling pre-made bunkers. You know, like they can fly in from China or whatever. I'm like, wow.
Yep.
You know, I
Yep. It's
remember.
true.
Yeah, like when I was growing up, I always heard of the Cold War. You know, but I didn't realize it was Russia and the States and Canada and all that stuff. But it's been going on since I was a child. You know, all of this stuff has been going on since I was a child. And you know, people say, "Oh, it's all these Rothmans and all this stuff." Well, I don't know any of them personally, but you know, just the fact that we're brainwashed into thinking these people are bad. I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
people are brainwashed into thinking we're bad. You know, some of us are politicians, corrupt
Yeah. Yeah. But
politicians.
like even in the Rothschild family, there could be good people in there.
Oh yeah,
It's a content of the character. It's not a family or a religion or a color of skin. It's not.
exactly. You know, but how do you know? That's the thing. You
Yeah,
go to, you
sadly.
know, you always give someone the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, please come into our country.
Yeah,
It's worked for us before. Then all of a sudden, they're
yeah.
not the right people. Yeah,
So when are you coming
but
on, White Wolf? I see you there watching us. Amazon sells body bags. That's great to know. Well, maybe you shouldn't join. Your little darkness is showing. Your doom and gloom is showing there, White Wolf. Be like a werewolf.
you
Oh
know,
my God.
you gotta
Cheryl,
post some,
welcome.
you gotta post happy stuff every once in a while.
Indeed,
Hi,
indeed. And you know, my dream is playing like Hotel California on your boat with my
hi, Cheryl.
guitar and Janice singing, background harmonies, you know.
You
But
know,
that
and the sound
moment,
carries here. We're in a big like there's mountains. We're surrounded by mountains, so
echo,
the sound really
echo,
carries.
yeah,
Yeah, they would hear
you
you in
know.
Bella Bella easily from the ship. So
But I
yeah,
know
actually,
that we're gonna be
strangely enough,
happy.
Jamie Nix and Pat King were supposed to have a concert, or Pat was trying to
Yeah,
organize that a fundraiser.
yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, whatever, you know. But yeah, someday that
Yeah.
it was
No, if it happens, it's gonna be a great day, and we can
yeah, what's gonna
celebrate.
happen? Yeah.
And we can celebrate that we made it through all of it to the finish line.
No, we made it through, and we tried to help people the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, who else can say that? You know, Dr. Anna and some other doctors, Margaret, um, you know, Jeremiah. There's a few podcasters that have been trying to help people all the time. T-Bird, you know, but a lot
Yep.
of these other ones, they just try to help themselves, and that's the problem. If to help ourselves, we just have to stop talking. And I'm sure we would get our pensions. I'm sure we would get our severance if we stopped talking. But it just, how can we live with ourselves? I don't know. If we didn't know, it's not a problem. But these people know. And I made sure they know. Like it's 7 years, I've made sure they know.
Kirk, I have colleagues that told me they've signed those non-disclosure agreements to get money years ago. And today they wish they were stronger at that time not to submit to what they wanted, because now, because they signed these non-disclosures, they can't even go to psychologists and psychiatrists to talk about their cases because they're not allowed to talk about it. As soon as you sign these non-disclosures, you're gagged, and it's
You were in the
wrong.
space this morning with the other Sue, and they were asking Michael if he was told not to talk about his case anymore, and that's what I'm worried about. Like everyone's, oh, Kirk, go sue them and all this stuff. The first thing they say is you can't talk about this anymore, and I know how long these cases go. My the first military psychiatrist says, Kirk, I've been in cases as a witness for 10 years. I'm like, holy shit. I didn't think I didn't think that was true. He gave car insurance, for example. Someone was injured, but you know, I, and that's how they get you. They sign non-disclosures. I'm sure Ezra, and I've heard this from other people. He makes everyone sign non-disclosures, right? And
Oh, wow.
I tracked down that Rob guy, like my kids with my Let Kirk Reese Speak bumper sticker. He carried it into the courts and the Coots guys. He carried it in there when I met Jason Levy in person for a few seconds, and then he no longer worked for Ezra. Same with Mocha Berserga Media. He did a great. He came to the ship. Bob Leone actually, I think, financed him to come to the ship. Bless his heart, and he said, Kirk, you have way too much stuff here, like way too much. Like I need 8 episodes, but he got one out. But he used to work for Ezra, and it's just, are they any different? Sorry, than CBC? Not to me. Uh, they should be pushing the stories when they happen until resolution, until Sue has met with an Air Canada official and said, okay, this is our problem. Let's solve it. That bothers me the most. It would take them a few hours to see what
Yep.
happened, and then her life would get immediately better, done, and they would make changes. But no, they won't. It just bothers me so much that, like, it's stuff like that. And Michael bothered me today, trying to protect, it just, that stuff really bothers me. And I wish it bothered other people with 150 followers, or I mean 150,000 followers. Instead, they call us lunatics, grifters, idiot, idiots seeking attention. I don't think so. Yes, we are seeking attention to help others, to help save Canadians, to expose the wrongdoing. That's not a bad thing, I thought, but apparently too many people are doing the bad thing.
I would do anything to make my head half the size it is right now.
Just wait. Is that better?
There, I feel better. That's great. We love you, whistleblowers. We couldn't have done it without you. We would have been walking blind like horses with blinders on each side. We would have never known
Yeah. Well,
because it's all social engineered.
yeah. Luke Sabron, another CBSA whistleblower, and he
He should
assured
be
me,
all over the place. Luke
yeah. Well,
Sabaron.
no, it should be solved. Who got
Yeah.
fired? Who is in prison? Come on, there's no incentive. You know, I know in the States they have a big incentive. You get 30% of all for financial stuff, which whatever. But in Canada, like there's no whistleblower protection at all. That's why I was in your space today, Paul. Don't worry, I'm not gonna start, on your guest.
I
But
know you. I know you.
but I wanted to, but I got a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
respect for you, and I got a lot of respect for them. A lot of these people have been through hard times too, you
yeah.
know. But we all got to get together, and that's the thing. Like,
Yeah. On the
and
same page there. Unification. We have to
yeah,
unify. We have to unblock.
Yeah,
The
and
whistleblowers.
it's not one people, it's not one race, not one religion, not one politician, not
Yep.
or political. It's just every individual choice got us to where we are.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not complaining. Yeah, sure, I
Hmm.
had it years ago, but a lot of people fought wars for as long as I've been in exile, right? So,
Yeah.
my life is good compared to a lot of people in history. It's actually great. Actually, the doctor I talked to yesterday, I said some people would kill to have a life I have, and that's messed up, But it's a lot better than a lot of lives out there, and that's you know, people say just quit and just live your life. Well, I wish I could. I've tried. I'm sure we have all tried. And it's
Yeah.
easier to quit for a while, and then you see stuff, and it's just like that's completely wrong. Oh, and it just frustrates you to no end, right?
Not
But
only do we see stuff, but we see dates. 2030, you own nothing. I mean, they're telling us a deadline. They're
yeah,
giving
well,
us a date. So it is more important to speak up now
yeah.
and try to
Oh yeah.
figure out how to do this without creating a civil war or doing any harm, because that's the last thing we want to do. But they're really kind of forcing us into a corner in
Well,
at
let's read some of these comments here.
oh,
Many don't know what's happening. Why would anyone want to block me, Daniel Smith? Well, for example, Rocky, Daniel Smith, I exposed a lot of her supporters, and they all blocked me too. And it's just weird. Politicians shouldn't be able to block anybody. There is no
no,
phone. There's no way to contact these people. There's all
I
these
agree.
gatekeepers, and just phone Joe Rogan. He'll get you on his show. I'm like, yeah, I wish it was that easy. Or
Yeah.
just phone that other big guy. I don't watch any of those shows because I think there are a lot of conspiracy theories. But they got to keep the ball rolling, right? So yeah, they'll post anything, and that's the problem. Is I don't watch them because there are a lot of stuff that can't be proven, but I prefer to watch stuff that can be proven and disproven. Please, everyone that watches this in the future, please just disprove us. Uh, okay, White Wolf's got some big wins there, I guess. But yeah, the thing is, help you who you can, and when we pray, we mean that stuff. Protect, defend the defenseless and help the helpless. I'm helpless. You're helpless. Please help us. But we still do these spaces, and we're defending the defenseless as well, and it all goes to protect the children. Like if I'm gone, heaven forbid, or who's gonna look after my children, right? What if Janice is gone? What if the few friends that are here are gone? And that's in Bella Bella, so many people died after they gave them a bunch of money. There's a lot of children with no parents, but thankfully they have a society here where they look after them. So it used to be, it takes a community to raise a child, right? It used to be like that. Not in Larange. Here, yes, and several other places I've been to, but not. It's just you got to be
It
the
all
ones that
comes
are.
down to who your leaders are. It's like
Yeah.
in everything else. If it doesn't mean that every single First Nation leader is bad, but the majority are corrupt and are silenced and take the money. That's the sad part. Not every First Nation leader that gets a lot of money puts it in an offshore account in Panama Papers or Caribbean Papers
Yeah.
and don't care about their people. But when you start doing the math, I have nothing against any Canadian, First Nation, immigrant, second or third or first generation. I have nothing against anybody. I'm anti one thing and one thing only: corruption.
Anti-evil, yeah, and it's all the
Yeah.
same. These people that come here and people, oh, your wife, like I've been on these white extremist pages or whatever, and oh, your wife's Filipino. I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'm like, yeah, she's a great Canadian. Just like my grandfather that came from Germany turned into a great Canadian. It's not the races, it's the people that make our system worked until the government and all of its people failed us. Like all the people that are supposed to be doing the checks and balances and they're replaced by DEI possibly. That's not the people we want. But you know, go fix your own countries first, and then we'll consider it, but even, yeah, the world's gone insane. And here I am, accused of being insane years ago. And, like I said, my kids are happy. My wife's pretty happy most of the time. But, I still want to give my documents to the proper authorities. I still believe somebody is going to someday say, okay, I'm now a general. Give me your stuff. I thought years ago a helicopter would come and pick me up and say, hey, Kate, let's get your, we messed up 7 years ago. They messed up. And I have the documentation where they say they messed up. We lost your case for 2 years. How do you lose a case like mine for 2 years? But yeah, I do believe we're coming to it. Hopium, whatever. I do believe that we can still finish this without a civil war, and that's important to me.
You know what gives me hope, Kirk, is that there's more and more people that are speaking up. Like you said, 7 years ago, you felt very lonely. There was nobody that would listen to you. And that's part of the betrayal and the frustration we went through. When I started this all out in 2011, 2012, I didn't even think of myself as a whistleblower. I was still thinking of myself as an Air Canada employee that cared about her workplace and her company and just did the right thing, thought I was dealing with a few bad apples, not knowing that there was a structure in place that protect certain people and that you cannot go after management, even if they're fraudsters. And we had the proof again, the guys in Toronto at Pearson Airport involved in that gold heist.
Yep.
They didn't lose anything. They got their money, they got their pension. And I think even one of them was management. And I think he got I think he's still on the payroll. Like, I'm not even sure, of all the details. They don't do anything against fraudsters. There was a lady that frauded Air Canada for over $4 million about 7-8 years ago. She didn't get any criminal charges. She didn't have to go to the Canadian Human Rights. She got her money. I'm not even sure if she even refunded back what she stole.
Well,
and then they go after somebody that just wanted to work in a safe workplace environment. And currently, right now in Quebec, the WSIB in Quebec is called CNSST. Okay, it's a long acronym, La Commission de Santé, Sécurité, les Normes du Travail du Québec. Anyways, it's a big acronym, but basically they amalgamated workers, WSIB, then human rights, and another. It's just blanking out. Anyways, they made it a big organization. But when you have court rulings coming through that organization, they're non-binding. And because you went through that organization, you lose your rights to sue your abusers. So what's the point of being in part of a union? What's the point of having a program that's supposed to be there to protect health and safety? And what's the point of going through the whole process if in the end you end up with nothing, you've lost everything, and you have no recourses? Everybody tells me, oh, you're out of delay. You could have had a criminal case if you had made a complaint at the beginning for the ones who spat on you and pushed you in the staircase. Yeah, but when I asked the police about that, they told me you're unionized. Go to your union. Then your union abandons you, and your union says, no, you should have taken the package deal we negotiated. I never asked you to negotiate anything for me. You've been negotiating on part of Air Canada since the get-go. You knew what Air Canada was doing. You misled me to believe I was going to be protected and be treated fairly. I trusted you, and my mistake was trusting you. Basically, the only thing I'm guilty of is trusting the people I worked for, trusting my union, trusting the government institutions and every single person I reached out to. And that goes for the medias, because when I had my arbitration, I don't know if you guys remember, they had 2 questions for me, Air Canada lawyers. Who did I contact? Government officials, which ministries, and so on, so on.
Yeah.
And what is the list of the medias? I told them. I said I called them all. He said, what do you mean you called them all? I called every single Canadian media. I still have phone numbers of,
Me
we call
too.
it chef de pupitre, we call it in Quebec. Those are the ones that are in charge of the editorial of a media. I have most chef de pupitres, medias, French medias, numbers directly. As an example, Journal de Montréal, we used to have, my husband used to receive an abonnement subscription, okay? They still harass, and I'm not going to use harass. They still send, you the specials if you want to resubscribe and become a subscription of Journal de Montréal. But I'm blocked from their social media because I asked for help. And I have Dominique Scali, that was their chef de pupitre. I have her cell phone. And then you remember this Friday payment having Tony Ledsham, the Air Canada pilot that is also a veteran of the Canadian Air Force. So it's not just an Air Canada pilot whistleblower. He's a veteran. He served our Canadian military as a jet pilot. And he said on his interview with Payman, it's after hearing about me that he decided to reach out and try to get and realize too, because I was working for Unifor and I had no clue that Unifor controlled the journalists of almost every mainstream media in Canada.
Yeah.
It's only during the process that I figured it out, because I was calling all these medias hoping they would do our story. And in reality, they're not going to do a story
Well,
against the union that controls them.
well, what about Ezra and all these other ones? I thought True North, and I've tried them all. Right? I see Rocky down here. Hey, Rocky, how can they go after Dr. Macus like this? AHS Alberta government wants him in prison for 2 years, license removed. I've tried to get a hold of Macus. I'm like, please just share my contact information, because I can. Like Todd Lowen was one of the Daniel Smith promoters, and I served with his brother. I tried to report this in 2019, and he says if my brother gets elected, and he got elected, and the response was, if you keep your nose clean for a couple of years, maybe you can get your life back together. Wow, they got elected. It's always political promises, right? But I can't get a hold of Macus. We have our whistleblower space. I hope people can come in. Doctor. Can't remember his name, starts with an S, but he's been in there, and he always, oh yeah, we should talk. I'm like, how about just share our contact information, please? Like our whistleblower space. You never know who's gonna come in there, right? And that's the thing, is like, we gotta have a place where people can go. There is a place in Canada, the Ombudsman. I phoned them today, the BC Ombudsman. We don't deal with, and you can phone them yourself. I encourage you to. The first thing they say is we don't deal with police or political problems. Something. Wow, that's what causes most of the problems. So
Yep.
yeah, it's all
And
control,
White
pay as you
Wolf,
play. Yep.
yep, White Wolf cannot join us because he can't find any pants to wear. He is in a werewolf state.
Wearing
Aware.
pajamas.
And I've got one final angry post on Facebook. This is my angry post. If you haven't seen my angry post before, that is a post.
So, Paul, have you been getting much more traction, or many more listeners or followers, or do you check anything? Or
Yeah, it's weird. As soon as I said I was leaving Facebook, I started getting followed like crazy, multiple every day. And that's fine. If you want to follow me, the Truth Table is going to be finished in a week. So, I mean, I'm finishing season 2. I've got all the whistleblower information. You just have to look at the archives. It's all
yeah,
there for you, and to empower you to just have an understanding of, the health system, the police, and the rangers, every uniform, the unions. That was the purpose. The
yeah. Well,
purpose,
we get more support from this.
is
We get more
fulfilled.
support from the states. I find, you know,
I,
but
I'm going to remain on X. I'll be on X, and I'll have you back on because you might have lost a couple of Truth Table points today because of
oh,
your
I could have
tardiness.
lost a lot more. So don't be pushing that. I, I took it easy on you guys today, but
Yeah,
again, I'm not
and
the one that
Sue,
blocks anybody.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, you
But
see, everybody has their, they all want to protect themselves from
you know,
things that make them uncomfortable, and that's why they block. And politicians do it too, because you make them
Anita Anon,
uncomfortable.
Rachel Blaney, Aaron Gunn. I can go on for an
Yep.
hour of all the people that block me. But
Yes, because it makes it them uncomfortable. They don't want to see what you have to show them because
hey,
it feels
I'm
that
getting a
they're
bunch of
check.
phone calls
Yep.
from fishermen over in Bella Bella. I'll drop
All
down.
right,
I'll try to
brother.
come back. Okay, bye.
Yeah, yep. You can come back anytime you like. White Wolf cannot join us because he's not wearing pants right now, and we can't have that on the truth table. I mean, you never know. I might not be wearing pants, right? I'm not
Ah,
gonna tell. I'm not gonna tell you. It's none of your business. Does Eaton's tell Simpson Sears their business? So on a happy note, we're thankful for the whistleblowers, and we wouldn't exist without them. I'm here because of them, because I know that we're really at a fulcrum point for humanity, and it's like everywhere. It's every country, and my focus is this country, Canada. I was born here. I have roots here. I have roots extending through to France and Ireland and Micmac Canada. So I, I'm I'm non-racist by default. I can relate to the French. I can relate to the natives, and I can relate uh, to the Irish and the European people. And I think they're beautiful people, and I think there's a war against them. And I'm not going to sit silent because I am aware of it. I know it's there, and if I can help you see it, we have to understand these people, the bad people, are in positions of power. They did cheat. They weren't elected, and they won't allow Sue to, uh, you know, be redeemed. They won't let it happen because it would expose something they don't want you to see. And that's the beauty. And that's why Kirk has already done his job. Sue has already done her job just by lifting that rock and showing, this happened and nothing was done about it. There's no remedy. They just shut things down. Even the court with the last show with Adam Skelly, you know, all the evidence was there and the evidence wasn't allowed. It just shows you that we have been captured, but we need to be strong. We need to unite. We need to know that there is a righteous way to fulfill mankind's mission in our life. And there is a mission. And no matter how poor or rich you may be, you still can participate in that mission to free our fellow man and to end these wars based on nothing but lies. Because we don't want to fight anymore. We want to celebrate you, the whistleblower, Sue. I appreciate you so much, and Kirk, of course, who has left us, and even White Wolf, who has no pants on. I appreciate all of you. You all matter to me, and I'm so grateful, humble, and thankful that I've been given this opportunity to um, to show you to the world, and to show that that you're humbles and you care. You care about your fellow man, and I care about my fellow man, and I care about you, Sue, and I care about all my guests. You all matter to me, and I guess we could end it an hour and 20 minutes. These 3 hour tours, like Gilligan's Island, my 3 hour shows that I did on hermetic alchemy. I mean, what a fascinating topic that is. But
there's a lot of stuff that's been hidden from us. I always said my interest when I was in school and everything was geography and history. I know almost all the dates by heart, the battles, the wars, and everything. I know all the details I was taught. And once I got confronted with what happened to me, it kind of confronted me with the fact that if we are living in a society that gives the illusion that you are a citizen and you have rights and you're protected, but in reality you don't, what else have I been lied to?
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, 2020 was difficult. For me, it was validation because I saw the patterns of the years before and the abuse I went through right back in my face in 2020. The same tactics, the same way they'd speak to people, the incentives and everything else. And I felt very much validated, and it actually helped me heal. I'm
Mm.
I'm still on a healing process. Even though it's been 2 years, I don't take medication. I do have anxiety issues. I do have panic attack issues. And when they come up, I have to be more conscious and do certain things to try to regain control. And I never had issues like that before. I was never agoraphobic before. I never had a problem to be in crowds before. There's a lot of things, but I couldn't understand how much stress could actually affect your brain and your condition. And to me, it was totally unexpected, uncharted waters. I, all those things I had to go inform myself, do readings about, and to try to understand why I was getting this physical reaction and physical mental
Sure.
breakdown because I never, even though I didn't have a perfect life, I've had difficult things in my life, but like we've mentioned before, everybody goes through difficult times. It's either sickness of a child or death of a child or a parent or a family member. Here he is back, but you never expect to be treated as we got treated because it doesn't make sense until you see the big picture. You start listening to other people's stories. And it's actually Kirk and David Drover. I always identified myself as a victim of corruption of my union uniform in Air Canada. And then David and Kirk told me, no, Sue, you're a whistleblower. You're part of us. And at
Yep.
first, I'm not a whistleblower. I'm just an Air Canada employee, and it took me a long time. And now I do consider myself part of the group of the crazies, the whistleblowers, the one that will not compromise their moral convictions. And even though it's been the hardest thing I've ever had to do, it's probably the thing that gives me the most satisfaction, even though I lost everything and I have nothing left, because it showed me to myself that there's no amount of money that's going to buy me out. And and even I will have to settle at eventually financially with Air Canada and Unifor when I finally
Yeah.
get a court date because, the Canadian
You
human
know,
rights there.
all they would have to say is we made a major mistake. We're not going to do it again. Here you go. Thank
Yeah,
you for
but
your service.
Kirk, right now, Air Canada is still abusing employees,
Yep.
still sending them to the psychiatric doctors to be psychiatric evaluation, and they're threatening, like they did to me, if I would refuse to go follow these if medical evaluations. Look, Gloriane Blaise, another good example. She's a lawyer. She tried to do the right thing. She brought it up. And they have a clause in their bar association and all these things that are in our system, either under laws, under rules, regulation, process, they were all well intended when they were put in there. But now
Hey, I
they're
got to cut.
used as a weapon to punish people instead of protecting us,
I got to head over to my X account to start my whistleblower appreciation day by talking about people that have blocked me. But you're welcome to come on over. I hate to cut you guys off, but
You're going
thanks
to do
No,
that
again,
I
on
was,
Paul.
X, Kirk? You're going to do that on
I
X as
was,
usual?
It's on
yeah,
X right
yeah,
now. I'm going to
I
start.
was trying to finish, but
Okay.
that's
You
okay.
popped
I
back
mean,
in.
Oh, sorry.
I'm very flexible. Yeah. All right.
Oh,
You can
that's so
join.
Kirk.
You can join Kirk on X, where he will be revealing the blockies that blocked him. Yeah, well, it's
He
not
has a
easy
sense.
for everybody.
There's a lot of people that have blocked Kirk that have not blocked me. Some of them, I'm not going to mention them, wrote me
No, don't.
some public, some in DMs that I associate with people that I shouldn't associate. They make me look bad. And I answered back, that may be your opinion, but in my opinion, they're just people carrying a lot of baggage and they've been
Yeah,
abused. And
yeah,
the way they're presenting themselves may not be to your standards, but what they're talking about cannot be ignored. And by just
yep,
finding excuses to ignore them is to punish the messenger instead of
yep,
listening to the message.
yep,
There's colleagues of mine of Air Canada that told me, Sue, you should never have spoken up. And because you spoke up, look,
yeah,
I've never mentioned them, but I'm going to mention them here. Carlo Livori and Gary Fain. These are past presidents of CAW, the Canadian Auto Worker Industry. They were there before Jerry Diaz and Leslie Diaz, before Unifor was created. They used to fight for people like me. When I contacted them in 2017, 16, 17, 18 in their area, Carla told me if I had contacted him at the beginning, if I had stayed quiet, if I had not exposed that I had been terminated and called the human rights, he would have been able to go behind and try to negotiate something. And because he's done it for other employees, and I don't want to
yeah.
name them, and they were able
And they
to
have,
retire normal and stay on the job.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Gary Fain, he went to be the president of the union for the BC nurses, and he used to be a big honcho at CAW. And I know Gary tried to call higher ups in the company because he had a lot of contacts and stuff, and he said, Sue, I don't know who you pissed off, but there's no receiving talking about you, and I'm really sorry. I tried and I can't do anything for you. So they just abandoned me. Of course, I understand they're not paid to do this. They didn't have to take my calls. They didn't have to say this to me. They didn't have to inform me. But when you have people that have the experience and past experience of being presidents of major unions, and even them abandon you and say you should have kept your mouth shut and not brought out the dirty laundry in public. And Benoit Lapointe and Leslie
yeah,
told me, he says, Sue, Air Canada has never apologized to anybody. They'll never apologize to you. And you're not going to get anything. And sorry, you should have played the game like we asked you. Shut your mouth like we asked you. We're extremely disappointed. You tried to call the media's politicians and the commission. But the Canadian Human Rights Commission in 2017, Mrs. Davy, her name was, she told me I could not put in a complaint until I had expired all my legal recourses as per the union process. The union told me if I decide to let them go and, remove their authority in my case, I would have to assume all the costs of the arbitration, the transportation. I would have had to co-paid the entire process. Thank God I didn't do that, because I know somebody that's doing it now. And because she's paying for the lawyer for her defense, they're prolonging the whole process, because they know every time she has a day in arbitration or in court that it costs her personally between $1,000 and $5,000. So they will drain you emotionally, physically, damage your health, damage everything, and on top of it, take away all your chances of being able to defend yourself and your financial means to succeed. I'm one of the miracles, because I have a husband that didn't abandon me, and I have family and friends that did not abandon me. But most of my colleagues, because it does something, I don't know how my husband could stand me. There was at least 10 years I was very difficult to live with me. And I understand that everybody has a different
way to deal with things.
Exactly. I don't want to judge anybody. That was my way. And I'm not saying my way is better than any other way, but I needed to understand. And because there was nothing to understand, it got me severely sick mentally.
Mm.
And then the abuse that never stopped just put me in a deeper hole. And I consider myself a miracle. And that's why I always say love heals everything. Look at Kirk. He has his wife and children. That love and that helps you. And not everybody has the chance. And I know a lot
Yeah.
of men and women of Air Canada that their spouses abandoned them. They have strained
Yep.
relationships with
Sure.
their children because they can't understand. And I'm not going to lie. I was one of them that could not understand people like myself before. And it's sad to say, until you've been put through unreasonable anything, you cannot completely understand. And even today, I talk to people that have went through types of abuse that I'm not familiar with, that I've not lived through, but I do understand what PTSD does to you, and I do understand the mental anguish that destroys your mental everything. And I hate using the word damage
Mm.
because I know we have to be careful with our words, but the baggage we carry and the abuse we've been through have made the people we are today. And I'm
Yeah.
grateful that I've made it through and that I'm 2 years off all those meds, because now that I know the types of meds that they put us on, it can actually destroy our entire psychic
Make
completely,
things
because they're
worse.
supposed to be temporary
Yep.
band-aids. They were never meant to be permanent band-aids or bandages just to make you brain be able to stand and the suffering they're putting you through.
Oh
And
yeah.
Canada is one of the countries that overprescribes all
Oh
these
yeah.
types of medication. And my province of Quebec has the record of these types of mental drugs that are put on us, where there's the highest, and also on children. There's people in my family, little
Yeah.
cousins, that are on some of these psychiatric drugs because of what they've put our youth through. I'm really worried for the young. Even though we've
Yeah.
been that hurt and we've been put through
Yep.
abuse, we at least, my mother always said, if you have love and you were given good foundations, even though you can go off track and may go through difficult times, your foundations are still solid, your grounds are solid, you'll find your way back on the right track. But if you start out your life, and you're put through what our government has put all of us through in the last 6 years, but you're a young mind that has not reached your emotional maturity, because I do understand now that that comes more like in your late 20s. We think
Mhm.
of ourselves as we invincible until we gain
Invincible.
that,
Yes.
and then we realize that no, we're not invincible. And that's the emotional maturity that comes in at later life. And I actually
Yeah.
think that I
That's
only
true.
gained my emotional maturity maybe a lot later in life, because I was fortunate enough not to be subject to too much abuse in my younger years. I had a good life. I had good people around me, and I worked in an industry that was not dangerous. I never expected this type of
Yeah.
abuse, because if I had wanted to work in a dangerous field, I could understand that when you choose a career that has, like the military, like Kirk and the Rangers, when you're in search and rescue, there's an element of danger in there. That's a
Yep.
choice you make. But when
Yep.
you decide to have an ordinary job, either a musician or an airline employee that works in customer service, you make a safe choice. I made a safe choice, but I was also passionate about it. I'm not saying I didn't want to work in a dangerous field. It just happened that way. And I was very happy and content. And the salary I got for the work I was doing was satisfactory to me for my personal life.
Sure.
And I continued on my career. The thing is, is that you expect a minimum in return. And what I expected was just respect and decency. I didn't know that was not part of the game if I did not follow their unwritten rules. And nobody expects to be treated this way. And it doesn't matter if you choose a dangerous field. Look at our police officers right now. Look at our law enforcement. Look at Mrs. Helen Gruss. You know, the rare law enforcement people that stood up, they did the same as they did to me at Air Canada. They made us examples to the rest of the employees that if you dare go out of the lines and the guidelines we've given you, you will be punished and severely retaliated against for not doing what we expect of you. Look
Yeah.
at Luc Sabourin. They threatened him to steal his pension if he went to testify in commission. Then they waived that condition, so he was able to testify. But if they had not waived that, and he had went to the commission and he had testified without the authorization, they would have stole his pension like they did to me. I thought shit like that was not possible and illegal. I told my
Yeah.
union rep, I said, what do you mean they
Yeah.
can steal your pension? It's like, are you telling me I can walk into the Royal Bank and they decide not to give me the money left in my account and I'll be left in limbo? I called the RCMP fraud department. They told me, ma'am, it's a civil case. It has nothing to do with the government. Find yourself a lawyer and sue them. I said, yeah, but sir, there's no lawyers to take our case because nobody wants to fight Air Canada and Unifor because they're too powerful. Sorry, ma'am, it's a civil
Yeah.
case. It's not a cop's case. What is a case for the cops at this point? They don't want to arrest corrupt politicians. They
Dead
don't want
bodies.
to arrest criminals, and they don't want to assist ordinary civil. Why are we paying for all these institutions if they're not
Because
willing to do the job they're paid
because
for?
because they have to get that white chalk and do a chalk line around our dead bodies. Someone's got to do that. But
It's sad.
it's
The state of our country is very sad.
But this show is about people like you that have stood up and sacrificed everything for your fellow man, and that means everything to me. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm
I'm
grateful.
grateful for everybody who stands up because that's what gives me hope. Because I
Yeah,
felt very lonely in my corner. And I
it can
did feel like a foolish, crazy woman for thinking that I could say the truth and I actually thought I was going to get rewarded. That's
I
how
hope.
much
Yeah,
I
because you were
thought I was
standing
going to
the right
get rewarded by Air Canada and my union
yep,
for doing the right thing.
for
That's
doing the
how
right thing.
silly I believed in them.
But that's where we come from, because that's natural. So I hope you will come back uh, on the new show. It's not going to be the truth table anymore. It's going to be the disinformation table.
You're looking for trouble, Paul.
I don't know, but it's not going
And
to
I
be on
love it.
Facebook. So Meta's going to have to stalk me with their little AI programs and follow me around. But yeah, I'm not going to comply to your new terms on April 3rd, which is kind of cool because I was going to end on April 1st on New Year's Eve. So it's just weird how God has kind of made it happen before, because I said I was going to leave before this new thing came along, new extra protection measures, authenticity measures. Yeah, goodbye. You know,
With
I'm
C-22 and C-9 there, we're going to, if they let this
yeah,
pass, and it's on the verge of it, I
yep,
have a
and
funny feeling
I
it is.
have to leave. We have to leave. You can't say what you're going to say anymore. The truth is not
I'm
going to
not
be
going to
allowed.
stop. I'm
No,
not going to stop.
uh, good. Then you'll be my guest on and earn some more truth table points for the the new and improved, new C9 approved, Bill C9 approved. So you're going on X. I'm going to sprinkle some water off my hair and shake the dew off the lily, and hope to see you tomorrow with Shane Wolf. who
No
has.
problem. Just send me the link and a little message there so I don't forget, because
Oh, you'll see.
I know it's so weird. My brain can remember things and stuff I read from months ago, years ago, and whatever. And then if you tell me tomorrow, don't forget this, there's a good chance I
Oh
forget
no,
it.
it
But
doesn't
I'm
matter.
lucky. I
No,
have
it
a
doesn't
husband that doesn't necessarily support what I'm doing because he wish I was just
just living a
retired
good
and
life.
enjoying life with him.
Yes,
However,
of
he's the
course.
one who keeps me on track. Sue, don't forget, in 15 minutes, it's your podcast there. Don't be late with Kirk. And
Yeah.
he does all these little things. So
No,
we have
don't worry
to,
about me.
yeah,
Don't worry about
exactly. I
me.
know you will, like you did
No,
today.
no,
And thank you
no, but
for
you can
sending
watch
me.
my show after it happens. You don't have to be there when it happens, and that's the
I
beauty of
always try to
archives.
crunch I
But
always
it's
try
just,
to catch bits and pieces, and I try to do other stuff. And this afternoon, I was
you know,
helping out
that's
somebody
okay.
else. And
You can watch
anyways,
it
it's
late.
like Kirk is saying, we have to support and help out each other. We do the
Yep,
best we can, and
yep,
the rest is not of our resort. We can only control what we know, what we
yeah,
are experienced,
yep.
and what we can share. And eventually, I'm feeling it's coming. I'm hoping it's this year because, Tony Ledsham there, that Air Canada pilot that came forward and did the interview of an hour and a half with Payman. I'm looking forward to talking to him, and I'm hoping that maybe we'll be on a big podcasters together. And I am like him. I don't want to destroy Air Canada. I don't
No,
want Air Canada to go down. This
not
is not
destroy,
it's
restore.
not, I want
To
change.
restore the integrity of the company.
Exactly. Air Canada was not
Oh,
always like
that's
this.
what we
Management at
all
Air
want.
Canada was not this evil. Something happened in the top
It's
management, like in a lot of corporations and like in our government, where
everywhere.
exactly,
Government.
and
Yes.
that has to change. And I'll even go further than that. I
Oh
don't
no, you're gonna
consider,
go further?
oh, yes, I don't believe that Air Canada is the management. I believe that the Air Canada, the corporation Air Canada, it's his employees, the people that work on the front line, that service. And don't forget, there's 2 pilots that were killed in New York. And the rumors out of there is a little bit of DEI, and we've been talking about it because I drove on airport tarmacs. I had driver's license authorization to drive company vehicles on the tarmacs. You have to watch every time you cross a landing lane,
Yep.
even if you got the go and everything. And I saw the footage and I watched it in slow motion. Regardless of the instructions he got from the tower, that fire truck, he should have been looking, and he should have seen that aircraft on his final 100
Of
meters of
course.
landing. There's no excuse other. I don't believe it was intentional. That's not what I'm saying. But I do believe that there's somehow somebody didn't do their due diligence. Is it the guy driving that didn't turn his head and check to make sure that he wasn't crossing a lane where there was an aircraft coming in? It's not the Air Canada pilots the problem. It's something in the communications the problem.
Yep.
And it cost the life of 2 pilots, 2 young men on top of it, 2 very young pilots. And thank God that there was no more casualties. And the department that had to handle all that is the Emergency Awareness Program of Air Canada. I used to work for them too. When there was that aircraft and that ran off the runway in Toronto many, many years ago, and the captain actually, wasn't it an Air France? In Canada, Air Canada has a bunker that is an emergency center. It's here in Montreal. And I used to be a volunteer there, and I used to handle these emergencies, and I've handled many in the bunker in the past for Air Canada. And it's things like that rarely happen. And now I've never seen so many accidents. I was witness to the one, and I worked 1996 when the Royal Air Maroc aircraft had start moving and they had not finished de-icing the wings, and the nacelle fell over, and there's some ramp guys that died, and one of them I went to school with and I knew very closely, Valiquette, and he lost his life. And in Dorval, there's been a few little incidents, but it's something that rarely happens because it's not supposed to happen. And now
And
there's more
not
and more
only,
accidents happening everywhere, and it's
yeah,
because of,
yep,
I think it's the
a lot of
training. They're
reasons.
not trained thoroughly like they used to be.
Training, there could be other reasons. I don't want to get into that, but
I know what you're talking about. I know.
you know what I'm thinking. I know it.
Yeah, I
And
know.
and everyone, and I know for sure, I can almost sense that you were the last, not only a good employee, but one of the last people to leave the building.
Look, I even took care of a bomb. We had a bomb threat in
Oh
our call
God.
center in Montreal, and I was part of that too. And I even wrote a report that we should have evacuated the building instead of hiding the
Yeah.
fact that we had a bomb threat. And they didn't want to disturb the operation. It was all about money.
Did we
So,
talk about this before? It almost, it
um,
feels like I heard the story, but it could have been on the lives on the spaces.
look, I
You might
I've
have, I've heard it maybe,
I always
but
repeat the same stories because
no, no,
the
it's okay.
story itself, it's never changed. But
Yeah, but we are
I
going to
just feel
close.
that right now they're hiding a lot of accidents and
Oh yeah,
incidents
oh yeah,
that are not even coming to light. I
yep,
still have colleagues that contact me.
yep.
Stupid example, there was a fire alarm thing, the sprinkles came on. There was no even reports done or anything. And because it happened over a weekend, they cleaned it all up and then painted everything so nobody was
Mhm.
aware of it. So they didn't even
That's good.
declare there was an incident. And it's like they prefer hiding
It's
stuff instead
it's
of
best,
addressing the problems.
it's best we be prepared for
Yeah,
anything.
that's for sure.
Yeah,
Look, the
because
good
it
side of
can.
everything is that we
They
didn't
like
sell our souls.
they
We
like to
didn't
traumatize.
compromise. Yeah.
They like to traumatize us. 9/11 was all about traumatizing the world, like going, like shock and awe. And,
Do you know that that morning of 9/11, we were Air Canada call center. Our bunker opened. I was solicited. I had to go work there, and I was in the bunker in the basements working the emergency. I came in between the two planes. I was parking as the first plane hit the first tower. And as the plane hit the second tower, I was in the lobby of my job looking at all these screens live. And we were about at least 100 employees just staring at these screens. All no, there, you could have heard a fly. Everybody was in shock, like you said. And even at that moment, something didn't make sense, but I never spoke about it because anytime somebody would bring up, it doesn't make sense, the fires, it doesn't make sense, this building is falling, and there's things that don't add up. And even till this day, I have pilot friends that are engineers and everything, and they say, oh, Sue, you have too much of a vivid imagination. Well, it can be an inside job. Only conspiracy theorists talk this way. Sue, they would never have done such thing. And I said, forget the narrative. Just think about physics, basic physics. And now with this aircraft that just hit this fire truck and the whole thing is destroyed, the physics aspects, if people don't realize that it doesn't make sense, 9/11, this should be a good example. And just to let you know, I once I banged on an aircraft fuselage of I think it was a 747 because I wanted to get the attention. I just knocked, just a little basic knock, and I dented the fuselage of the aircraft. I damaged, there was a nick.
Bob, he's another one.
And
Kirk's on live.
Co-host on all
Kirk's live
these
now?
spaces.
Okay, maybe we should let our go and I'll go listen to Kirk and
Yes,
we
let's go plug him.
Anyways,
But thank
thank
you
you,
for coming
Paul, for
on.
always.
Thank you
Yeah,
for your honesty, and it is your day today, so I want you to enjoy it to its
I didn't even
fullest.
know it was another. And look, it's just
Mhm,
another pretend we care day, you know?
for
Because if they
sure.
really
And
cared about, what's happening, there's a lot. I'm not the only one, but I mean,
no,
we
no, but
we
I
would
want to
not
thank
just be.
I want to thank everybody in the audience too,
Oh,
because you've been
definitely.
with me from the beginning, and that matters too. So tomorrow, 2 p.m. I will see you then. I will see you again, Sue, and have you back on the disinformation table. So thank you once again for gracing me with your beauty and your honesty, divine feminine. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for giving us a voice. Thank you for promoting our stories, and thank you for giving us a chance to become a little bit better in our speaking skills, to be able to share our stories. And hopefully one day we can all unite, have a great
And
party, a
celebrate.
great dinner,
Yes,
and celebrate we did the right thing and we never gave
I would
up.
love
And
that.
I would love that too. That is my biggest thing I miss the most, is having fun again, because there's nothing right now to celebrate and there's nothing we can say is really fun. The only thing that we can say is there's still some really good people out there and I appreciate every single one. And thanks for the.
Oops. Oh crap, she wasn't finished.
It doesn't
And
matter. Let's go
oh,
listen to
I
Kirk
cut
and
her
have a
off.
good time. God bless you all. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
She is the last one out of the building. I swear to it. I know it. It's like, Sue, Sue, we're off the shift. We're off the clock. Punch out, punch out. Anyway, you can join Kirk on X. Sue will be there as well. We love you, and I appreciate you all. It's been a long day today. 2 episodes, and but it matters. It matters that we honor our whistleblowers who have risked it all, and some lost it all. And thank you at home. I'll see you tomorrow. Shane Wolf will be joining me 2 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.